When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. As always, I am your host, Colleen Biggs. And, 2023 was an amazing year. We did hundreds of podcast interviews. And my only hope is that you go back to looking at some of the topics of the podcast that we've done in the past. And now that maybe you've set your goals, you know exactly what you're looking for in 2024, go back and find those podcasts anywhere from maybe 1 to 5 to 10 different ones and star them up so that they become your favorite, so that you can listen through the topics that you need in this season of your business or your life, or maybe one just struck you and then now you want to go back and listen to some other topics that have to do with that same thing. I love certain subjects and other people don't. Today, what's the sales approach? Why are there different sizes to sales? What does sales look like? How do people approach sales? Who do I have to become to be a good salesperson? I mean, I love to talk about sales. Other people immediately cringe when I say the word sales. And I'm going to say you need to look within if you're cringing when I say the word sales, because it's fun to me. It's opportunities for other people to me. So I have Stacy Weber with me today. We're going to be diving into all about sales, what it looks like, I guess, sales in all different sizes. And I'm excited to jump into that. But before I do, I have to start off by thanking the sponsor of today's show, Phoenix Drone Pros. And at Phoenix Drone Pros, we love what we do and are passionate about each and every drone photography and video shoot. We've been in business since 2017. Our talent and skills shows in the video production we deliver. We offer fast service for commercial real estate, movies, events, and construction site monitoring. We also provide drone virtual tours and trainings that are all the rage right now. These virtual tours are great for team building and entertainment. Contact us today at phoenixdronepros.com to schedule your shoot online or to get more information. We are now franchising. Reach out for information on how you can purchase your own drone company today. We capture everything. Thank you, Phoenix Drone Pros, for being the sponsor of today's show. Okay. Stacy Weber, besides being absolutely gorgeous, she's like 6 foot tall. She's got beautiful blonde curly hair. She's just an amazing individual. She's a personal fitness trainer, right? A certified life coach. I love it because she's got so much under her belt, and she's the founder of True You Consulting. She's an inspiring and passionate speaker, a high performance coach. When I say high performance, I mean, you can be at your peak of sales if you're at your peak of performance. And how you get there is through working on yourself. There's a lot of work that we got to do on ourselves. She's a corporate sales trainer and a certified angel guide. She's the creator of Limitless Life, Body, and Business Training and Unleash Your Sales Potential program. I love the Unleash Your Sales Potential. She has over 25 plus years of experience in sales leadership, and sales training. In fact, I'm reading here that she even quit her job to be a straight commissions salesperson for a little while. So Stacy, welcome to the show. I can't wait to dive into this with you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I love your energy. I truly do. And I'm so excited just to be a part of your community.
Oh, thank you. The Leap community is so amazing because you're in it. I will tell you that. It's amazing because of the women that are in the community. The community is amazing because of the people. For sure. It's a business building community. And if you're building a business and you're looking for more opportunities to build your online digital resume, which I call your digital footprint online, people will go look you up long before they ever talk to you. So you've got to have that solid online. And that's what we do in the Leap community, besides helping you have those connections with women that deposit into your social capital. Social capital is important. We've got to open the doors to opportunities. Okay, I was reading that you decided to go to be a straight commission salesperson.
Yes.
So talk to me about that decision, because I have a little story of my own on that, and I would love to dive into yours.
Yeah. Well, that was about 30 years ago that I decided to do that. And I had never done outside sales before. And so it was a big leap. So if you're talking about leaping into it, and I was super shy. Like if I had known that I would be doing speaking and talking about sales 20, 30 years ago, I would have been like, oh, hell no, right? Because I'm super shy. So, but I was like, I had this calling. I don't know. It was kind of like, you know what? Try this and you can do this. And even if you don't know what you're doing, which I did not, I was so green. I just, like you said, leaped into, I just jumped into it and it was straight commission.
Mm.
So I was like, well, I'll just figure it out because I got into it and it was outside sales. I was selling beauty products, which I was interested in. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is fun. And I have hair that I could, show off the
Oh my
different
gosh. Yeah.
products and stuff like that. I was like, okay, this is a good fit. But I got out there and I was like, it was a brand new product line. No one knew about it. And so I was doing like 20 cold calls a day. My territory was like next to nothing. And I was like, I came home crying many times because I'm like, what the heck did I get myself into? I was making no money. And, but you know what? Sales is about relationships. So there's one thing I was like good at, and that was building relationships. And so I just trusted that in myself that I was going to learn. And I had a great support around me, training. Oh my gosh. So blessed to have people around me that knew and trusted me and trained me. And so 3 years down after that, I was like, got promoted to being a leader. So it's like, you got to jump in and trust yourself to make those leaps.
Hmm.
And I mean, thank goodness I did. That was 30 years ago. And now look what I'm doing now,
Yeah.
continuing to help people with
Yeah.
that.
It's so funny because when I mention the word sales, so many people are like,
Yeah,
I hate sales. Do you know how many entrepreneurs tell me I hate sales? And I said, you're in the selling business. Your
exactly.
entire pay is based on sales. Do you
Yes.
realize that? And then they
Yeah.
stop and they're like, what? Well, yeah. So if you hate the one thing you do, which is 100% of your job, maybe what you're doing isn't what you should be doing, right?
Right.
I think we have to
Right.
embrace it exactly the way that you said, which is there's all different sizes, all different approaches. It sounds like your approach and my approach is very similar, which is building the best relationships with people. I'm in the relationship business,
Yes.
period. That's
Yes.
what I build, our relationships with people.
Mhm.
And I believe that if you're just having a great time talking, building relationships with people, nothing feels heavy. Like networking. Most people are like, there's those individuals that just sell, 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 sell the second they see you at a
Right.
networking event. And then there's me who just has a conversation with you. And
Right.
then we might exchange emails or text messages or get to know each other. And then I might go to something you have, or we might meet up another time, or you might go to something I have going on. And we kind of build this relationship for a while. And then we might play together somehow that is a monetary exchange. But honestly, it's about building the relationship. I never really feel like it's about selling the other person. Selling the other person is convincing them to do something they don't necessarily want to do, in my book, right?
Exactly.
You're
Yes.
convincing them on something. But what if you were just offering an opportunity? So, talk to me a little bit about, as a sales trainer, what are those different approaches? Because you talked about the individual and how they see sales. So that's a perspective of what
Right.
they see.
Absolutely. So when I start working with someone and they come to me and they go, I need help. I need more confidence in approaching people. And what I help people with is that conversation that you have when you're in front of someone. And I always start with, I have like a success path to go, let's start. Here's the steps to do that. It's not like, let's jump in and talk about what you're going to say. It's like, let's start with your energy, how you're feeling, how you're thinking about yourself, and what do you think about sales? Tell me what sales is for you. And they're like, I go, and how does that feel in your body? And you're like, oh, I feel like, right? I don't want to do it. So if you have that feeling, how do you think the person in front of you is feeling? Like
The same.
you got to
It's
start.
awkward.
Exactly. And so you got to start there. I go, you can't do anything unless you get the energy right, because before you even say anything,
Mm-hmm.
people can feel you.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like, oh my gosh, I'm tense. Oh my gosh, I have to sell this person. What do I say? Am I saying the right thing? I don't know. And they feel that whether you know it or not.
And then there's the opposite side of the spectrum of the people that are pushy and
Yes.
overbearing with sales. And I can remember a conversation. I actually saw her last night. She
Oh,
just whizzed on by. In fact, I remember because she was rude. I was having a
oh,
deep conversation, eating, sitting at a table with another individual, and she walked up and just put her hand on that person to stop our conversation and said, "Do you
uh,
remember me? I'm so and so." Didn't talk to me, didn't say excuse me, talked to the other person and said, "Well, my hair was longer, but I cut it." She never stopped talking for 10 minutes and then walked away.
yeah.
And I was like, well, that was quite the whirlwind. And then I went, aha, I remember her now. I remember that energy. I remember the second that I got on the phone with her. She didn't care of flying hoot about me. All she wanted to do was sell me her products, talk about her, talk about her, talk
Right.
about her, talk about her products. And I just felt like I was sitting there as she was dumping all over me. And I was like, the whole time, you never even asked where I'm at, what I need, if I need your products. And then when she finally took a breath, I said, well, I just did my whole financial portfolio not too long ago, like less than 6 months ago. So we're good. I have all of that.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hope you have a great day. Like all she wanted to do is sell me. So I think that's not good. And being
No.
rude and being that way is just not, it's very off putting. It's very off putting. So when someone cringes and they're like, sales, how do you help them really feel into it being a positive thing?
Well, interesting. Last night I was having a conversation with someone that's super successful in commercial real estate, and she wants to start her own business. Yet, in the current position she has, they've never really done sales. Like it's always been referral work. And so, but now she's like, oh my gosh, I have to actually bring the money in. Like I'm responsible. If I don't bring the money in, then we don't have a business. And so she was, even though she had done it, I go, you don't realize that you're already doing it. Like if you have referrals, that's what it's all about. It doesn't have to be hard. And so it's really digging in to go, let's talk about sales. What is sales? And so we had a deep conversation of what she thinks sales is. It's pushy, this and that. And then I'm going to have to be pressured to have the sales and I'm going to feel that pressure. I go, you don't have, that's just a story that you're telling yourself, right? And so what is sales? Sales is not all in the conversation. It is a process. People don't realize that it is activities that you do to create sales. So if you go, I'm good at doing activities, I'm good at relating. I said, you probably already do this more than you already know. So we, dug deep into and she goes, oh my gosh, I know how to do relationships and I'm really good at that. So that was like became her new belief, like, oh my gosh, I already do this. Like she didn't even realize she already had it in her. But
Mm-hmm.
we just tell this story like, oh, I don't know sales. I'm not good at sales when it's not the truth. And so
Yeah.
you have to dig deep to really figure that out. And people don't take the time to actually listen and slow down and pause and either have a conversation or go within. Like you said at the very beginning, you've got to stop and pause.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question because aligning their mindset, their habits, their beliefs, right? All of these things, which is what you were actually doing
Yeah.
real time last night on the phone.
Mhm.
Um, how many sales teams out there many leaders of those sales teams want them to work on their mindset, their habits, I would think mindset's a huge thing. And pumping them up and having those like active sale, morning pump
Yeah.
up rounds or whatever they do is why
Yeah.
they do that, to get them motivated for the sale. But it still won't change that individual that doesn't believe, that has this belief that
Yeah.
they suck at sales or whatever. I always say, if you believe it, it's true, right?
Yes.
If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Thank you, Henry Ford, because it's the truth. So thoughts are things. And if you believe you can, then you'll do it. But if you believe you won't, you won't. And have you found that, and I'm not in the corporate world anymore in sales, but have you found that with those teams, they're starting to really focus on the individuals and helping them get to the point where they're strong in sales versus more like quota, have to hit these, specific sales quotas? Are they doing it more of the non-conventional way where they're exploring and I guess I would say elevating and developing individuals through those sales teams, through especially your types of trainings?
I believe so. I think it, like you were saying, it's forward thinking. It's now like I do meditations in some of my trainings. For instance, I have a client that brought me in to help him build his sales team. And so this gentleman, the owner, came to one of my vision board workshops. And so we started working together. We've been working together for like 5 years. And so now we do vision board workshops for his team that is not just business, but it's personal. And because he knows if he cares about his team and their development, not just business wise, but personally, that everybody wins, everybody's happier. He's going to get more productivity from those people because they go, I'm part of this and he cares about me. And so just recently I did one of those, and I did an abundance technique where I go, if there's something that's holding you back, we went through this process, and then I offer that later. I go, if you're still feeling like you're not being able to move forward towards those goals for 2024, let's sit down and do that process. So I've been doing that, and they're reaching out going, yes, I need that. But he sees the value of helping his people, because there's this like peeling an onion. Like there's layers of conditioning that people don't even realize they have, that tape is rolling in the back of their mind. And that's what's holding them back. Not that they don't know what to do. It's just this belief behind the scenes going, no, you don't really know, or that's going to be too hard. You haven't done that before.
Yeah.
You haven't been able to do that before. So why now? So I believe that people are opening up to, oh, there's more than just like make it happen, push, push, push.
Yeah, in episode 142, we talked about that, and we had a conversation that was exactly that: how sales managers or managers and leaders, in corporate, everyone's a person, right? We're still a person when we're at home. We're a person when we're at work. And whether anyone believes it or not, everything that happens in your life affects how you are that day. Right. It really does. And if you had a really crappy morning with your kids or spouse or anything like that, it's going to affect you. And to be an effective leader, it's about developing people. It's all about them, and it's not about you. So it sounds like your client really grasps that and understands how it's all about the people. We're one person, whether we're standing at a job or we're an entrepreneur, or we're a grandma, or we're, a wife or whatever. We're still a person, and we're usually still that same person. So I love that you talked about the vision board. I think it's so important. I do that with my clients. I think it's so important that we vision board what our goals look like, reflecting, then going through, okay, now put that into a vision of what that looks like. And if they don't believe it, you're right. So I guess what I do, and I was wondering if you do this too, I have them actually talk about their vision board as if it's already happened, and record themselves. And there's a lot of tears, a lot of hesitancy, a lot of there's a lot of pauses.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like they're not sure about celebrating something because they're still fighting with themselves inside if it's capable of
Yeah.
them doing it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, when I have them write out the vision before they do the vision board, it's as if it's already done.
Perfect.
And then that's when I go into, now, when you do that, how does that feel in your body? Because your body tells you. It's in my stomach. It's like knots, or in my throat. Some people then can't like verbalize that or speak it or go that whole thing. And so I really work with the body so they go, yeah, that's where I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it here. And you constrict because you're like, oh, I got to protect myself in some way. Like, oh, if I don't do it, then I'll be disappointed in myself, you know?
So, okay, let's just talk about entrepreneurs for a minute, because I feel like there's a lot of training and things available in corporate America, and they may have some education and hire consultants like you to come in. A lot of solopreneurs and males and females out there that are solopreneurs, they feel like they're on this island, right? It's one of the reasons why I created the community. I don't want women to feel like they're on an island, but let's
Right.
say they're out there on an island, and sales is what drives everything in their entire business. I mean,
Yeah.
hands down. What is a good first step for somebody who knows they need to sell, but has this bad relationship, let's say, um, with sales? Like, they don't want to have a conversation with sales. They don't want to face sales. They keep sales hidden in the corner. It's not on display. It's something that what would you say is a good first step for somebody who's struggling in the area of sales?
So the first thing I would go back to is, why are you doing? Why are you wanting to sell what you have, whether it's a product or service? There is something that's calling you to go, oh, and then you get passionate about it and you're excited about it. Like, there's a reason it's helping someone, makes people happy, makes them feel beautiful, whatever that is that they're selling. That you got to go, why am I doing this? Because I want to affect people's lives, right? That why behind it. Then you get again, just that feeling. I'm like, oh, I get excited when that energy comes up. You want to go, that's why I'm doing this. All right. So you got to get in that feeling and have that vision, just like like, what is it going to do for people? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then because people that are entrepreneurs, usually that's why they're doing it. Like, I want to do this because it'll help someone. So that's the first thing. And then I go, well, okay, sales is like, if you don't do sales, you don't have a business. Like, you can't support yourself. And so I go, part of it is shifting your thoughts from selling to offering. I'm not selling something. I'm just like here to help others, right? In being of service. And I'm offering, it's like an hors d'oeuvre. It's just an easy way to, here's an hors d'oeuvre. Like, I'm offering this. If you were in a dinner party, someone comes over and says, here's an hors d'oeuvre. Would you like that? This is what it is. It's beautiful. It tastes like this. Oh yeah. Or someone goes, no,
No, thank you.
no, thank you. And then there's no emotional attachment. You're just like, okay, on to the next person. Would you like this? Do you see? And so that shift is just like, it's not selling. It's like, oh,
That's a good point. I love this visual because there's a lot of hors d'oeuvres that come around that I don't eat because I don't eat meat. So when they bring around hors d'oeuvres that are it
yeah,
looks so good. But
yeah,
I can't eat it because it's, steak or whatever. So, and I say no, and I don't mean any disrespect by saying no. I just I don't need that right now. That doesn't work for my diet. It's not what I
yeah,
eat. But I've heard so many times. I mean, I've even had it in my own family. I remember the first time my husband got rejected from a job in a new business that he had started, and he was like really taking it emotionally. And I said, what happened? He said, they said no. they were going with another company. And I was like, yeah, well, that other company does cheap lights. So why are you worried about it? And he's like, I don't know, but it's like affecting me. And I said, how many no's have you ever gotten in your life? And he was like, well, that was like the first one. And I said, I got 9 today. So
Yeah.
let's not take that personal.
Yeah.
I love that you said that it's not a personal attack. It's literally like someone walking around, and your responsibility is to offer to everybody. Can you imagine if you skipped half the room because you were too nervous to go over there, and you skipped half
Yeah.
the room and they're over there like, I wanted some of that. Why didn't they
Yeah.
come over here and offer that to me? That's like when I go to a workshop or something and then they end it and I'm like, but I want more. How do I
Yeah.
connect with you? How do I
Yeah.
get more of this? Is there like a follow up or a download or something? And you just leave everybody hanging, right? You
Yeah.
just you kind of brought everybody up to the cliff, right? And
Yeah.
then now we're just all hanging and we
Yeah.
have no way to get down. I love that visual. That is the most beautiful visual I've ever heard. You're walking around serving others with what you have to offer. And imagine how people would feel if you didn't offer it to them.
Yeah.
And they get to choose yes or no, depending upon who they are. And that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Don't judge if they're going to say yes or no based on who they are. I see that a lot. Do you see that a lot where certain people are afraid to approach another person, or
Yes.
they judge based on they don't have any money? They do have money. They
Right.
would be able to. They wouldn't be able to. I always say it's not your responsibility to judge other people. Your responsibility is to offer, and they get to choose.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
and I go that when I would train people as salespeople, I've hired so many over the years that I go, they just don't know how great you are and your service. I go, you just don't know. Like you offer it, it may not be right now. They
Mm-hmm.
may not be your ideal client, and you may not even want them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to just release that
Mm-hmm.
attachment and move on to the next person. And maybe they just don't know you yet.
Here's another thing I was thinking about because this has both happened to me too. So I know this has happened to everybody who's listening today too. You'll have to tell me, Stacy, if this ever happened to you. Have you ever been at a restaurant, a nice restaurant, and they have a special of the day? And someone describes the special and they're like, and we have this steak with this red sauce and a side of mushrooms or whatever. And you're like, okay. But if someone were to say, we have a rare ribeye cut specifically, blah, 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 seared on both sides with butter with this amazing succulent red wine sauce that we reduce for an hour or whatever, right? And then they're like, we get hand-picked mushrooms from the local organic market down the street. You're like, your mouth is watering.
Yeah.
And you're like, I wasn't even going to order a steak, but now I'm going to order that meal because how could I not? It's, lightly toasted or gently applied or laid on a bed of blah, blah, blah. I have heard so many amazing waiter and waitresses talk about a dish. And
Yeah.
I've looked at them and said, if I ate meat, I would order that because you made it sound so appetizing. But in the moment, like I don't eat that. So I'm not going to order it. But I have to say, like, you're probably going to sell the most of those tonight because of the way you've described it. So what do you say to that? The difference between someone that says, oh, it's just this versus this whole display of, a description of a product and kind of gets a person salivating for it. What is that?
Well, one of it is confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy you bring, like if someone is off like a waiter, he's gonna be like, and he's gotten you in the story, in the picture, seeing themselves having it.
That is it. Ding, 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 everybody. Imagine if, right? It's the scene having it. That's how things get sold. That other person can imagine their life without that pain, without whatever this person that you were selling hair products to can imagine their curly hair without the frizz for the first time in their life.
That's how I sold it. You want this hair, no frizz? Here's what you need.
Right? They're like, "Oh, you mean you have something to take the frizz out of my hair? I'll
Yes.
buy it. It doesn't matter what it costs because I hate the frizz and I've lived with it my whole life." Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. That is hands down. It's really about getting the other person. And what are the ways that you can do that? Visualization, walking them through a story, right? And bringing them along in the story with you, having a workshop that teaches them, walks them through the steps. They get to visualize it like you're vision boarding. They get to visualize their future next year.
Yes.
That's massive. It's not about your vision. It's not about the owner's vision for them. It's not about putting together a vision board for his goals, his quotas, his everything that he needs, right? It's about their life.
Exactly.
That's what gets people to buy in right there.
Yeah.
Oh, woo. Boy, did we get deep today.
Yeah, we did.
But it's good.
Fun. Yeah.
It's good. That's it right there. And now I understand why you bring meditation into it, why you bring in some of these other modalities, right? Which is the mindset, the habits. You cannot become a peak performer. You cannot become a high performer if you're not willing to work on the things and your habits and your beliefs and how you think every single day. And having a why that you talked about that you tie everything to, it's got to be bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
It's what motivates you. And doing it alone is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would, any owner or any manager, leader, they have someone that they're looking up to or someone that's mentoring them. Yet I see so many entrepreneurs try to build businesses without any type of coaches or mentors or consultants around them. And I just think that's crazy because you're emotionally charged in the moment of what's happening and you really can't see outside of yourself to realize what you're missing and maybe how it's affecting other people, especially in your business. So Stacy, I know that you're everywhere out there. You're on LinkedIn, right? You're on Facebook, and your website True You Training and Life Coaching.com.
That's my Facebook page.
Facebook page.
My website is True training.com.
Okay. TrueYouTraining.com. We'll make sure everyone has that at their fingertips. And you've got a retreat coming up, the Awaken the True You. And this is to me like the work that we need to do behind the scenes, right? To really allow ourselves to be able to fully explore, to be that true, confident, high performer. So talk a little bit about that retreat and what is included in that.
Yeah, I guess my company's called True You, and that's because I know that the power, the real power that is all within you. It's just like I was saying, peeling back the layers of conditioning or disappointments or hurts from the past. And that's what we put this protective coating, like shield on ourselves. And that holds us back from really having the life, the business, everything that you want. And so this is about awakening that wisdom within. But when doing that, we're going to be doing meditations and breath work and visioning and going in our body, like to go, what's the energy that's coming up? Because a lot of that stuff is held there. And so with this 5 days, 4 nights, it's about taking time to stop, pause, and rediscover yourself. And when you do that, everything opens up. When you can awaken something or release something from the past, that just opens you up to all the possibilities so you can see it. Because so many times we just go, we can't see it because we're just doing this. I'm holding close to myself instead of opening up to everything. And so it's going to be just a transformational 5 days, 4 nights in Arizona. It's going to be in April, the first week of April, where it's beautiful.
Beautiful time of year.
Yes. And so it's in this great facility called Blistopia that has a yoga studio in it, a pool, jacuzzi, just everything that gives you time to just be there for you.
Yeah. And coming from someone who attends retreats, I also conduct retreats. Here's the one thing I know: you cannot get the transformation you need unless you unplug yourself from
Yes.
your current situation in life and plug yourself in to an environment that is supporting the change.
Yeah.
It has to be that. It can't be in your current environment. That's why I hear a lot of people say, well, I left my office, or I decided to go work somewhere different, or the park for the day, and I had all this inspiration. Well, of course you did, because you went and put yourself in a completely different environment that wasn't your normal environment. So if you want your life to look different, then stop doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yes.
These are for everybody. These types of retreats are for everybody, no matter where you are in your journey. It's about breaking kind of that a cycle of what you're doing to become a better version of yourself. And isn't that what we're all working toward in the end anyway? And whether it be that you need to, get better at doing something in your life or in your business, the only way you're truly going to awaken, I love it, awaken the true you, is for you to wake it up.
Yeah.
So just to like do something to jolt, to juggle. You've got to change something and make that happen. It doesn't just happen while you're in the middle of doing what you always do. The
Right.
do. It's not going to happen. Yeah. I love that.
Exactly.
So when is that? April, what are the dates?
April 4th through the 7th.
4th through the 7th. My birthday is on April 7th.
Oh.
April 4th through the 7th, Awaken the True You retreat. We have a link below. I'm hoping that by the time you hear this podcast, there'll still be some spots available. Yeah. It might be the last spot available, but I know that Stacy will be doing more of these. So we definitely invite you to that. And then the month before that, on March 22nd, we invite you to the Empower and Elevate conference. That's for small business owners local here in Arizona. Expect to meet another 200 of your favorite small business owners here. Very excited to be able to have that conference again here in Mesa, Arizona. All of the information is at your fingertips in our links. And Stacy, I just want to thank you so much for the deep conversations that you were willing to go to the depths today in this. I don't know if anyone really dives into sales that deep, but it really is kind of a deep thing that goes way, way, way back and deep down in somebody on their belief of themselves to know if they can sell something or not, offer an appetizer to another person. I love
Absolutely.
it.
This has been fun. I've totally enjoyed our conversation. And I hope that, people listening that got a little bits and pieces to help them in their journey, of sales and growing business. Yeah.
You're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that's ever going to be. That's it. No do-overs. You. So awaken the true you. Why not live the best life possible? Why not design your life the way you want your life to be designed? You have to put things in place on purpose to make those changes. And you've got to have support along the way. So I love what you're doing out there, Stacy. Thank you for doing all of this with everyone in the world. One last question. What book are you reading right now?
I'm listening to The Choice.
Ooh, The Choice. Another book recommendation out there.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful about this woman who was in the Holocaust and her journey of all the choices that she made to stay alive, and then afterwards how her life unfolded and how choices made a big difference in her life. Yeah.
I love that. Great book recommendation. Thank you so much, Stacy. All right, everyone. Until next time, don't forget, be you and be strong. Until then, bye-bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery, where you learned the tools to create a life by design. Remember, you are the only you there is, and you are the only you that will ever be. Be you and be strong, because you are brilliant, and the world needs you at your best. We cannot wait for you to join us again next time.